Hey everybody, welcome to the Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico, and look at this beautiful card that I have to share with you. I have to tell you, I took pictures of it and I had a hard time capturing just how pretty it was because this gold foil is kind of tricky to photograph so that you can really appreciate the shine, but I love it. So let me show you how easy this is because it actually really is quite easy to make. I started, well, first of all, I'm using the Hearts Come Home stamp set, which I think is such a pretty stamp set, and the stamps are wonderful, but where this set really shines are of course the framelits like the one I used here. And I also used the layering circles framelits. I used the scalloped circle and the regular circle to make this card, and I'll show you how I did it because it's pretty easy. First of all, I die cut a circle in both white and soft sky, like this one, and then a scalloped circle that coordinates in gold foil. Okay, so I'll set that one aside for now. I said I did a white one, and the white one is so that I can get this piece die cut with my framelit set. And the way I did that is I simply... And actually, I gotta find my framelits. So I took this framelit and pretend this one is white. I laid it right across here so that the edge would just be touching the edge of my circle, and I ran it through my machine. And then of course this is the piece that was left over from that process. Now when I have my white circle, I can actually get two of these out of one white circle. So again, pretending this is a white circle, you can see I've got one set of houses and a second set of houses out of one white circle. Okay, so I'll take this and adhere it to my soft sky. We are done pretending it's white. It is now officially a soft sky circle, and you can see I will just adhere this to the edge. Okay, so that is super cute. And then in the stamp set, there is a little smokestack that comes out, and then there's a bunch of sentiments that come with this set. And I think this one is one of my favorites. All Hearts Come Home for Christmas. So I'll take some white ink. You can also use Versamark to do this. And I'm just going to stamp. But first, I'm going to treat this with my embossing buddy. Let me grab that quickly. The embossing buddy is great because it will prevent any extra pieces of powder from sticking to my cardstock surface. So I like to use that. And then I will stamp this. Now I want to stamp this so that it's near the top, so that I have a little bit of room left over to put my little smoke coming out of my card. Now you can see this is kind of light with just the white ink on such a light color paper. So we're going to go ahead and heat emboss it. For that, I'm going to use my Whisper White embossing powder, which I have in this container. So I will just get the powder right on here. That's all good. Close this up to avoid some kind of international incident. And then we're going to heat this with our heat tool. I always like to go from behind because then you can kind of just see as things melt. I'm kind of trying to keep this on camera. There we go. There's just something about embossing powder. I love it. It smells good when it melts. It's kind of like rubber cement. It's just good stuff. Okay, so I thought this was really cute, but I wanted to jazz it up just a little bit. So I'm going to add the little smoke coming right out. Now I'm going to get way down in here so I can line that right up to the roof chimney peak right there. You can see that looks super cute. But then I also thought it would be really sweet if we embellished it with a little heart. So I took a punch and, oh, it's I had it right over here, so it was all handy. And you can see I've got my gold foil. This is the cookie cutter punch from last year, and many of you have this. So I'm just gonna take and punch this little heart with just, you can see the tiniest little bit of my scrap gold foil paper, and then I'll attach it with a glue dot. Now I've noticed my glue dots are just slightly larger than the heart itself, so what I do is just put it on there and then kind of tuck the excess on the glue dots behind the heart so that it's not visible. And then I'm just going to place that right in the center house. So isn't that sweet? It's the little touches like this that I think make cards really awesome. Okay, now to put the card part, we've done all the hard part stuffs already. To put the rest of the card together, I've got myself a Soft Sky card base. And then I've cut 2 pieces of printed paper using the Year of Cheer Specialty Designer Series paper. These are all those gorgeous metallics. So I've got my background piece, which is 4 by 5 1/4, that I'm going to attach to my card base. And then I've cut a second piece, and I can't remember the dimensions of this. I want to say it's 2 3/4 by 5-ish, but all the actual dimensions are on my blog, so you can check that out. Now I'm going to just go ahead and cut this kind of in the center, and I'll just go up to the first 2 blocks, and then I'm going to go from that point to the point I cut, and then the other side to the point I cut. And then that creates a perfect banner. Now this, of course, I would use my banner punch, but this is too wide for that. So that's why I need to cut my own. And I'm just gonna curl this slightly because you know I love the dimension on my cards. All right, so I've attached this to my card like so. And then I will attach this to my gold foil scalloped circle. I put a lot of adhesive on there only because I embossed it, and that tends to warp the cardstock a little bit. So I just want to make sure it lays nice and flat, which it does when you adhere it well. And then I will add some dimensionals to the back of this to adhere it to my card. And I think this is just such a simple but beautiful card. These would make wonderful, easy cards to create in quantity. Of course, whenever I'm making things like Christmas cards, I always do all the steps together. So I'll do all the die cutting, then I'll do all the stamping and then the embossing, and then everything works awesome. So isn't that fun? I hope you love this card. All of the supplies and details are on my blog, or there's links in below where you can shop my online store. Of course, I really appreciate your orders. And there's also a link to an online class that I have just released with the Hearts Come Home bundle, and it makes some really pretty cards. I'll show you a couple samples. Well, I guess I only have one handy, but there's another really pretty sample. So check it out and make sure you register. It's a great online class. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.